Imagine a ruthless soldier, obsessed with glory, power, and the thrill of the fight. A man driven by ambition, dreaming of valor and courtly love. Now, picture that same man, broken, crippled, his dreams shattered. What if a life-altering injury, meant to destroy him, instead became the catalyst for one of history's most profound spiritual transformations? What if the battlefield he ultimately conquered wasn't external, but within his own soul? This is the extraordinary journey of Íñigo López de Loyola, the man who would become Saint Ignatius. Our story begins in the early 16th century, a time of immense upheaval in Europe. Spain, a rising global power, was still deeply rooted in its Catholic identity, yet the continent itself was a powder keg. The Protestant Reformation was exploding, challenging long-held doctrines and fracturing the unity of Christendom. Political alliances shifted like sand, empires clashed, and alongside these grand movements, ordinary people grappled with questions of faith, suffering, and meaning in a world that felt both expanding and uncertain. It was a turbulent era, ripe for both conflict and profound spiritual awakening. And it was into this world that Íñigo was born. Born in 1491, Íñigo was everything you'd expect from a young nobleman of his time. He was charming, ambitious, perhaps a bit vain, and certainly no stranger to a good fight. His life was set on a predictable path: military glory, a position at court, the pursuit of earthly pleasures. Then came the turning point. In 1521, during the siege of Pamplona, a cannonball struck him, shattering his leg. The injury was horrific, his recovery agonizingly slow. Confined to his bed, facing multiple surgeries without anesthesia, Íñigo, the valiant knight, was reduced to immobility. To pass the time, he requested books of chivalry, stories of knights and ladies. But all they had were books on the lives of saints and a life of Christ. Reluctantly, he began to read, and as he read, something unexpected happened. He noticed a profound difference in how he felt. When he imagined himself as a heroic knight, the feeling was fleeting, leaving him empty. But when he pondered the selfless lives of Saints Francis and Dominic, or the life of Jesus, a deep, lasting peace settled within him. He began to discern between what he called spirits, the thoughts and desires that led to desolation, versus those that led to consolation. This wasn't just intellectual, it was a profound emotional and spiritual shift. His conversion was radical. Once healed, he shed his soldier's clothes, traded his sword for his staff, and embarked on a pilgrimage to Montserrat and then Manresa. There, in a cave, he spent months in intense prayer and reflection, battling his inner demons and deepening his understanding of God's presence in the world. He recorded these profound insights in what would become his most famous work, The Spiritual Exercises, a guide to spiritual transformation that has impacted millions. This former soldier, now a spiritual warrior, was preparing for a very different kind of battle. This is where Ignatius's genius truly shines. His spirituality isn't about escaping the world, but about finding God within it. He taught us to be contemplatives in action, to seek and find God in all things. One of his most profound teachings is encapsulated in the phrase, ad majorem Dei gloriam, for the greater glory of God. This wasn't just a motto, it was a way of life. For Ignatius, every action, every decision, every breath could be directed towards God's glory. It shifts our perspective from, what do I get out of this, to, how can this serve a greater purpose? Imagine applying this today. Instead of focusing on career advancement for personal gain, what if you pursued it for the greater good, for the impact you could have? It reframes our ambitions, giving them a deeper resonance. Another cornerstone of his thought is discernment of spirits. In our fast-paced world, we're constantly bombarded with choices, anxieties, and distractions. Ignatius offers a practical framework for navigating these inner landscapes. He invites us to pay attention to our feelings, not just as emotions, but as indicators of where God might be leading us or what might be pulling us away. Do certain thoughts leave you feeling drained, restless, or anxious? That's desolation. Do others fill you with peace, hope, and a desire to do good? That's consolation. This isn't about blind faith. It's about paying attention to your inner life to make more intentional choices. It's a powerful tool for anyone feeling overwhelmed by modern life, searching for clarity amidst the noise. His spiritual exercises aren't just a book. They're a dynamic process, a structured retreat designed to help individuals discover their unique path with God. It involves imaginative prayer, reflection on Scripture, and rigorous self-examination. It's not about becoming someone else, but about becoming more fully who you are meant to be. Ignatius also emphasized the importance of indifference, not in the sense of apathy, but as a freedom from attachments. He encouraged us to be ready to accept whatever God wills, whether it's health or sickness, wealth or poverty, a long life or a short one. This radical openness liberates us from fear and allows us to respond freely to God's call, whatever form it takes. In a world obsessed with control, Ignatius invites us to a profound trust. He deeply understood the human condition, our struggles, our desires, our capacity for both good and evil. His path wasn't one of asceticism for its own sake, but one of radical availability to serve God and others. He saw God not as a distant judge, but as an active presence, intimately involved in every detail of our lives. From his humble beginnings as a wounded soldier, Ignatius went on to found one of the most influential religious orders in history, the Society of Jesus, commonly known as the Jesuits. Approved by the Pope in 1540, the Jesuits became intellectual giants, missionaries, educators, and spiritual directors, often called God's Marines, for their discipline and willingness to go anywhere. Their impact is immeasurable. They established universities and colleges around the globe, pioneering innovative educational methods that shaped minds for centuries. They spread Christianity to distant lands, from Asia to the Americas, becoming renowned explorers and scholars of diverse cultures. Ignatius was canonized as a saint in 1622. He is venerated as the patron saint of soldiers, educators, and retreats. His spiritual exercises continue to be a cornerstone of spiritual growth for people of all faiths and none, offering a timeless path to self-discovery and a deeper connection to purpose. The Jesuit tradition, born from his vision, continues to engage with the modern world, championing justice, intellectual rigor, and a commitment to service. So what can a 16th century Spanish soldier teach us today? Ignatius reminds us that transformation is always possible, even from the most unexpected circumstances. His journey from a battle-scarred warrior to a spiritual guide offers a powerful lesson. Our greatest weaknesses can become our greatest strengths if we allow them to open us to something larger than ourselves. What if, like Ignatius, we pause to discern the spirits guiding our daily choices? How might your decisions change if you consistently asked, "Is this truly for the greater good?" Or if you approach challenges with a spirit of indifference, trusting that even in uncertainty, there's a deeper plan at work. Saint Ignatius of Loyola invites us not just to believe, but to experience God in the everyday, to find sacredness in the mundane, and to live a life directed by purpose. His path was unexpected, but his legacy continues to illuminate the way for millions. What unexpected path might be waiting for you?